I started L&T Engineering Services within L&T Group, not as a separate company. That grew to be 70 million, which was primarily mechanical and plant engineering and hydraulics and so on. And the L&T Infotech, the electronic engineering was growing. I'm skipping few steps in between, but in 14 finally we brought all of them together to form L&T Technology Service, which now is about 470 million last year, and will grow past 525 million this year. We think we'll double this in the next 5 years. That's our plan, right? We'll make some acquisition which matters to the new technological development, like digital and Internet of Things, IoT and whatnot. So I think we are well on our way. The company is being looked upon as the only one of its kind in India. Unlike in IT, there are tens of thousands of companies around the world. This company in India, there are only 3. One is with the private equity, and one is with the company which started and have changed the name, but growing very slow, and third is us. So I have no doubt that this company has a very, very bright future.
Optimistic as always, Mr. Naik. You beautifully summarized the entire journey of the company, and I want to chew your brains on this one. Now, engineering services and development has a hugely addressable global market, and of course that presents a great opportunity for India's top engineering company like yours. Growth would now be linked to how clients' R&D budgets are marked. Help me understand, where do you have an edge? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but you come in at a very early stage. And how is that as compared to the IT world, where the CTO largely determines budgets, which are more dynamic?
Well, so IT world CIO determines the budget, whereas in our world, it is the engineering heads and the technology heads who have the budget. But the difference between the two budgets is that ours is much less discretionary. It is part of the P&L of the company, because you're really helping build products or doing plant engineering, which is actually part of the products that our clients sell to their customers. And therefore, it is directly in the revenue line of the company and less discretionary. In terms of the addressable market, you rightly pointed out, it's a large market. 1 trillion is the overall global ER&D spend. Out of that, $365 billion are addressable. In that, only 67 is addressed so far, which means that the market is underserved and there is a huge headroom for growth. In that 67, India has a dominant play. It serves about $20 billion between both service providers like us, as well as the captives, which are essentially the India units or India arms centers of our clients. So, but both of them are expected to grow similarly over the next 5 years, as per independent reports. So there is a huge headroom for growth. Now, we have a leadership position already. In number of verticals, inaugurated as in the leadership quadrant in 8 out of 10 or 11 verticals. And in a few verticals, we were absolute number 1. So we do have a leadership position in a market which is large and growing.
Quick word from you on, you spoke about growth, so quick word from you on the growth in some of the sectors before I get back to Mr. Naik. You derive 80% of your revenues from North America and Europe, garner 90% income from 4 segments, namely transportation, industrial products, telecom and high-tech, process industry. Each of these markets and industrial segments are growing in comparison to your company average.
Just a small correction, our North America revenues were 60%.
60%, all right.
20%
was Europe in it.
All right, okay. So now if you look at the way R&D spend is distributed worldwide between the who's who of the spenders, if you pick the top 100, we have 43 of them as our clients.
All right. That's a sizable chunk.
Very sizable chunk. And they're who's who of these 5 verticals. Now, when you talk about vertical, it's not really that concentrated. For example, in telecom and high-tech, we include the device side, the network side, as well as semiconductors. In transportation, we have automotive, of course, which is the largest. We have aerospace. We also have off-highway. So it is really a nice spread of vertical industries that we are focused on. And therefore, in fact, the whole idea about multi-vertical strategy is that we are de-risked from the perspective of one particular industry sector going down and impacting us. In our case, it does not impact us much because we are de-risked.
Mr. Naik, investors are very keen to know what's the order book you're sitting on and how is it growing? Also give us a sense of some of the chunky...
L&T Technology Service, order book of that.
Yeah. Also give us a sense of some of the chunky deals that are in the pipeline and how many of them are you expecting to convert?
Of course, we can't tell you all the deals due to the confidentiality agreement.
But if you could just give us a broad overview.
Well, we have a very, very good, healthy pipeline. That's all I can say. We have more than 75-80% of this year revenue already in hand.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/etnow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at etnowlive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/etnow.